Hey, I'll play devil's advocate. Bach's anger is justified when he's turned into the Tin Man. And if you don't believe that's true, simply because he was with Nessa Rose for 5 years and he strung her along, I think you're just as fucking crazy as Nessa. Keep in mind, Nessa and Bach are basically Fiyero and Glinda, except Nessa and Bach are a much more tragic version. Both couples suffer from this idea that love is about completion, feeling complete. It wasn't about finding someone that makes them feel happy, but finding someone that makes them seem happy. And so denying themselves the satisfaction of actually getting to know people on a deeper level rather than what you think you want. And so it causes this really messy love square. Because although they share the common interest of being attracted to each other, Fiyero likes Glinda because she's pretty, but Glinda likes Fiyero because, well, we're perfect. And so Glinda doesn't show any interest in Bach, because at least from what the movie has shown us, Bach is a munchkin. He's not perfect. He's a bit shorter. In fact, I do think that is a reason as to why Nessa was attracted to Bach. Because her interest is piqued when she sees that Bach can also not see, just like her. Like they're the same. And despite how it seems, the truth is that Bach happens to be also a really nice kid. So they share this moment that feels a little bit more deeper to Nessa than it ever really did to Bach. And so when he asks her to the dance without Nessa realizing this is because he's trying to make himself look good for Glinda, she's on cloud 9, but very similar to Elphaba. She's aware that she's not necessarily perceived attractive, and though Bach wants to tell her the truth, honestly, we see him put 2 and 2 together to have this fuck situation that he's kind of placed himself in. And he clarifies that, like, I don't feel sorry for you because you're in a wheelchair. Like, that's got nothing to do with why I act. But when he goes to tell her the truth, he is reminded that the girl he's in love with doesn't give a shit about him. And it sucks. It's horrible. But if we're gonna sit here and fucking pretend the concept of a rebound doesn't exist, he's supposed to get a clue about Glinda not liking him. But Nessa ain't get a clue when she said, we deserve each other. Don't you see? Don't you agree, Bach? And he said, let's go dance. At least in the movie, Bach has never truly been an asshole. In a moment where he could have allowed seeing Glinda kissing Fiyero ruin his night, he decided to make somebody else have a good time while having a good time with them. It meant something to him, but it meant more to her. And that sucks because in a way, he does in fact care for Nessa. If we want to bring up the context of the deleted scene from the train station when Elphaba goes to talk to Bach and tells him, you need to tell my sister the truth. And he says that I don't love her, that would hurt her. Despite him not wanting to give up his feelings for Glinda, it makes sense why they decided to delete this scene. Because what they decided to go for is that Nessa is well aware that Bach is in love with Glinda. She knows that that's who he wants to be with. But rather than choosing to let go of a doomed love, she forces him to stay. And yes, it's forcing him to stay because when her father dies, mind you, as soon as Elphaba left, as soon as she got called the Wicked Witch of the West, fucking Nessa's father died. And because they happen to live in Munchkin land, Bach goes to visit her as a good friend. It's not even like he's aware that Nessa has nobody else, right? It's the fact that Nessa continues to highlight, hey, if it wasn't for you, I probably would have killed myself. And don't get me wrong, I have sympathy for Nessa Rose. It sucks. But like, that's what I would have heard if somebody just kept saying like, I have nobody else. Nobody came to visit me when my father died. Nobody cares about me except for you. Damn, like fuck, like... It's the same shit that Glinda does with Fiyero when she starts to realize maybe he doesn't love me as much as I love him. And that's why her ass gets left at the altar, but the difference is that she can let that go. And it's not like she let it go in a great way. She said, oh, you know what? Actually, fuck Elphaba. I have something for her ass. If you're gonna take something I love from me, I'm gonna take something you love from you. It's no different than Bach being honest with her and saying, hey, listen, I'm in love with Glinda. Mind you, right? Even before he confirmed the fact that his heart was with Glinda, he said, listen, I've been here long enough. It's time for me to go. Like, I'm gonna come back and visit you. This is not gonna be the last time we see each other, but I need to move on with my life. Like, I need to do more. And she said, you wanna leave me? Be honest with yourself. Is Bach playing Nessa or is Nessa holding him hostage? Bach's emotional rewiring for Nessa starts when she bans not just him from leaving, but all of his people from ever being able to leave without her permission. Keep in mind. And then when he begs her to let him go, the bitch shrink his heart. What? If you're not gonna love me, you're not gonna love anybody. and then still expected him to stay. She was going to cast a spell on him to make sure he never left. Even when Elphaba was trying to make it like, oh, well, Glinda's the one who told him, Nessa didn't care, and that's a big part of her character, is that she's willfully ignorant. When Elphaba in Wicked for Good says, you don't even know what, like, the truth about our father, she says, what does it matter? Because if it meant that Nessa could be happy, she's willing to disregard anything that could bring her down. So to say that Boq is a horrible person because he faked his feelings, even though he did care about her, he just wasn't romantically interested in her. He led her on. He was her friend. He was her friend. And that wasn't enough for her. She needed more. That's why the only moment that she can recall that she felt so wonderful was fucking years ago at the Ozdust. What does that mean? What does that mean if it doesn't mean that that nigga wasn't feeling you the way that she thought he was supposed to be feeling her? Just to add to my closing piece, Boq wanted to actually leave when he saw that Glinda and Fiyero were getting married. He felt, hello, that's the whole point in the wedding. Speak now or forever hold your peace. That was his speak now moment. Holy shit, at least I have to tell her how I feel. Even if she doesn't reciprocate it, at least I have to be honest in the same way that Nessa was able to be honest, in the same way that Elphaba wasn't able to be honest, in the same way that Fiyero was able to be honest. So y'all trying to tell me that everybody was allowed to go chase what they wanted except for Boq. Like he had to stay with her.